How many times did you say, I used to be today? I used to be stronger. I used to be more attractive. I used to run a department. I used to matter. I used to be somebody. If you're over 50 and you've said any variation of these phrases in the last week, congratulations, you're addicted. And this addiction is slowly murdering your present while you worship a past that never existed the way you remember it. But here's the twist that's going to blow your mind. The past you're mourning, it's mostly fiction. Your brain has been lying to you for decades, and you've become addicted to the lies. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your brain betrayed you, how to break free from this invisible prison, and most importantly, why your best days aren't behind you. They're waiting for you to stop looking backward. The hidden epidemic. 73% of people over 50 spend more mental energy reliving their past than planning their future. But it gets worse. Much worse. Research bombshell. A 2023 Stanford University study found that adults over 50 reference past achievements 340% more frequently than adults under 35. They spend an average of 2.3 hours daily in retrospective rumination, addiction-level past fixation. The University of California conducted brain scans on 500 individuals over 55 who constantly talked about their past. What they found was terrifying. The same neural pathways that activate during drug addiction were lighting up. The shocking truth, your most cherished memories, the ones you return to again and again, are 30–40% fabricated. Your brain has been editing them for years, making them more golden, more perfect, more meaningful than they actually were. So you're not just addicted to the past. You're addicted to a past that's largely fiction. You're a junkie for memories that never happened the way you think they did. Let me take you inside your brain and show you exactly what's happening when you say, I used to be. When you reminisce about your glory days, your brain releases dopamine, the exact same neurochemical released by cocaine, gambling, pornography, and social media. But here's where it gets diabolical. The dopamine hijack. Unlike real achievements that require effort, energy, and risk, nostalgic dopamine hits are completely effortless. Your brain gets the same reward chemicals from remembering success as from achieving it, but with zero work required. Dr. Sarah Chen, leading neuroscientist at UCLA, calls this phenomenon retrospective reward hijacking. Your brain becomes so efficient at mining pleasure from the past that it stops investing energy in present moment experiences or future planning. The addiction cycle. Trigger. Present moment feels boring, difficult. Escape. Brain retreats to past glory. Reward. Dopamine surge from nostalgia. Tolerance. Need more frequent, intense memories. Withdrawal. Present reality feels increasingly inadequate. Repeat. Cycle intensifies and accelerates. Devastating case study, Robert, 58. I built a company from nothing, had 30 employees, made decisions affecting hundreds of lives. People respected me. I mattered. Robert retired 2 years ago with a solid pension and good health. Since then, 0 new hobbies, 0 new skills, 0 new relationships. He spends 4 to 6 hours daily cornering neighbors, cashiers, and anyone within earshot to hear about his executive glory days. His wife avoids bringing him to social gatherings because he turns every conversation into a board meeting from 2018. Robert's brain has become a nostalgia machine. The dopamine hits from reliving his CEO status are so consistent, so effortless, so reliable that learning Spanish, taking up photography, volunteering, or building new relationships feels impossibly difficult by comparison. His addiction has a street value. Every minute spent reliving past glory is a minute stolen from potential future achievement. At 58, he could have 25 productive years ahead, 9,125 days. Instead, he's choosing to mentally replay approximately 2,000 days from his 50s on an endless loop. Brain hack revelation. Your brain treats vivid memories as if they're happening right now. So when you constantly replay past successes, your brain thinks you're still successful and stops motivating you to achieve new things. If you recognize yourself regularly using these phrases, you're not just nostalgic, you're clinically addicted to your past. Phrase number 1, I used to be, the identity death trap. This phrase literally murders your present identity. You're telling yourself and others that your current self is a diminished version of who you really are. Phrase number 2, back in my day, the superiority delusion. This positions you as a refugee from a better time rather than a citizen of the current moment with something valuable to contribute. Phrase number 3, things were better when, the golden age fallacy. Every generation believes this about their youth. It's never been true in human history, but your brain doesn't care about historical accuracy. Phrase number 4, I remember when, the repetition compulsion. You've told this story before, multiple times, to the same people, but the dopamine hit makes you forget you're repeating yourself. Phrase number 5, if only I could go back, the time travel fantasy. This is the most dangerous phrase because it positions your present life as something to escape from, rather than something to engage with. Phrase number 6, nobody understands. The generational victim complex. You've created an identity around being misunderstood by younger people, which gives you permission to stop trying to connect or contribute. Phrase number 7, I've already done. The experience exhaustion excuse. This is how you justify not learning, growing, or trying new things. You've convinced yourself that experience equals completion rather than preparation. Addiction warning signs. You've told the same achievement story more than 3 times to the same person. You feel more excitement discussing past accomplishments than making future plans. You introduce yourself by mentioning what you used to do professionally. You compare every current experience unfavorably to past experiences. When feeling insecure, you mentally recite your past achievements for comfort. You avoid new challenges because they might not match your past successes. Heartbreaking case study. Margaret, 62. I was a high school principal for 28 years. Students respected me. Parents called me personally when they had problems. The school board listened when I spoke. The community knew who Margaret Williams was. Margaret has been retired for 4 years. She volunteers nowhere, has learned nothing new, joined no organizations, and formed no new friendships. At parties, she introduces herself within 60 seconds by mentioning her former position. She's not sharing her background. She's desperately performing CPR on her dead professional identity. Margaret isn't networking or making conversation. She's conducting a seance, trying to resurrect her relevance through repetition. Every social interaction becomes a museum tour of who she used to be, not an exploration of who she could become. Why this devastates the 50-plus brain differently. Past addiction isn't just harder to recover from after 50, it's neurologically and psychologically devastating. It affects older brains in ways that don't impact younger brains. Here's why. The identity cliff effect. For 30 to 40 years, you were John the engineer or Sarah the teacher. Your sense of self was externally reinforced daily through job titles, business cards, and professional respect. Retirement or career transitions create an identity vacuum, a terrifying empty space where your sense of self used to live. Your brain panics at this void and desperately clings to the last clear, strong sense of self it can remember. This isn't nostalgia, it's psychological survival. The aging brain neuroplasticity reality. After 50, your brain's ability to form new neural pathways doesn't disappear, but it requires significantly more intentional effort and energy. Past addiction develops because reminiscing is effortless. It uses well-worn mental highways, while learning new skills demands energy your aging brain wants to conserve. The social spotlight effect intensifies. You believe everyone is constantly judging your current relevance, value, and capability. So instead of leading with curiosity, you lead with credentials from 20 years ago, your last clear proof that you mattered. The time scarcity panic. The thought, I don't have enough time left to start over, creates psychological paralysis. Your brain calculates that dwelling on proven past success feels safer than risking failure in the limited time you believe you have. Tragic case study. David, 67. I coached varsity football for 35 years, 2 state championships, developed young men into leaders. Athletes I coached are now doctors, lawyers, successful business people. David's wife reports he tells this exact story to grocery clerks, bank tellers, postal workers, and random strangers. He hasn't watched modern football strategy videos, hasn't studied current training techniques, hasn't volunteered with youth sports. He hasn't even attended local high school games. He's not interested in being a coach, he's addicted to having been one. David's tragedy isn't that his coaching days are over. His tragedy is that he's chosen to become a living memorial to his former self, rather than using his expertise to impact young athletes today. The devastating realization. Past addiction isn't about loving your memories. It's about being terrified that your best days, your most important days, are permanently behind you. Vulnerable question. What identity are you mourning? What version of yourself are you afraid you'll never be again? The memory manipulation revelation that will shock you. Prepare yourself for the most disturbing truth in this video. The past you're addicted to is largely fictional. Every time you remember something, your brain doesn't access a file like a computer. It reconstructs the memory from fragments, filling in missing pieces with current emotions, recent experiences, and unconscious biases. Each reconstruction slightly alters the original, and after 20 years, your precious memories are like a game of telephone. Memory research bombshell. Dr. Elizabeth Loftus has documented that within 5 years, your brain has artificially enhanced 80% of emotional intensity and completely fabricated 30% of specific details. After 20 years, some of your most vivid memories bear only passing resemblance to what occurred. That promotion you earned through brilliance? You remember the triumph, but you've edited out the anxiety, sleepless nights, and conflicts. That perfect relationship? You remember the passion, but have unconsciously deleted the daily irritations and fundamental incompatibilities. That body you had in your 30s? You remember feeling strong, but have forgotten complaining about being overweight and uncomfortable. Mind-blowing experiment. Patricia, 59. I had Patricia write down everything she remembered about her dream job from 15 years ago. She described respect, autonomy, meaningful work, supportive colleagues, and creative fulfillment. Then I asked her to contact 3 former colleagues and ask them to describe that same workplace and Patricia's experience. The results were staggering. Her colleagues remembered Patricia's constant stress, frequent complaints, and conflicts. Patricia wasn't lying. Her brain had genuinely edited them. Her subconscious had gradually removed the negative elements and amplified the positive ones until she was left with a golden highlight reel that bore little resemblance to her actual daily experience. The brain's editing process, years. 1-2. Memory remains relatively accurate. Years 3-5, emotional peaks are enhanced, valleys are softened. Years 6-10, boring or painful details are gradually deleted. Years 11-15, memory becomes heavily romanticized. Years 16+. Original experience is almost entirely fiction. You're not addicted to your past. You're addicted to your brain's director's cut, a carefully edited, dramatically enhanced version. That eliminates the mundane, painful, and frustrating elements that actually comprised most of your daily experience. The ultimate twist. The reason you can't recreate the satisfaction you remember from your past is because that level of satisfaction never actually existed. You're chasing a phantom,